Hey, here's Jennifer Haben from Beyond the Black, and you're listening to Rhino Radio.
So today again, through the magic of the internet, I have the honor of speaking to Jennifer of Beyond the Black. How are you doing, Jennifer?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good. Keeping safe at home, enjoying some great music, and now I have your company. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Before we jump into the fun stuff, let's start with the business side of stuff. You have a new album coming out, if I'm not mistaken, June 19th. It's called Horizons. What can you tell us about this before it goes out?
The whole album is a bit more about hopeful things, if you can say like that. And I think this is also something we didn't expect that it would fit so good for the people right now. So I'm super happy that we did this direction, and I hope that a lot of people will like it.
Well, I'm excited for that. I really enjoyed the recent singles. But another thing that we know about the future of the band, but I want to hear about your expectations of it. There is a tour expected for November, co-headliner tour with Amaranth in Europe. And I know that, if I'm not mistaken, you're based in Germany. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I know that Germany decided that no big events are going to take place until the end of August. So I'm guessing you're keeping safe at home. How are you planning for this upcoming future? On one hand, you have the tour. On the other hand, nothing is really certain. How do you feel about that?
I think that all of us are thinking about this situation, what it will bring. We, of course, are thinking about what happens if we have to cancel our tour, because, every day the recommendations are changing, and you have to think about it every day new. So, for me, especially, it's super important that we all are safe. We are at home. We don't see each other at the moment because we don't have to, because we're just releasing an album. So we follow these recommendations as much as we can. And I think this is something that we really have to do right now. So we will just follow what they tell us. And also what you have to think about is that the people are afraid to buy tickets right now because they don't know if it will happen or not. So this is also something that is super difficult for bands right now, and also for us, of course. So this is also something that is a thing that we have to decide if we can do this tour or if we have to postpone it. But we are planning a plan B just in case that we have to cancel, and that we have directly a plan B for the fans. This is something that is important for them as well, that they know, okay, we know another date right now when we have to cancel. So, we're thinking about it, but we don't know what comes next, of course.
So obviously the main concern is our safety, but hopefully we'll get to see you in November on stages. So I'm crossing my fingers for that. The most recent single at the moment is Golden Pariah. And for me as a fan, looking up to the stage and seeing all these amazing musicians rocking out on stage, it kind of feels weird to hear a song about feeling like the outcast. So when was the last time that you felt like the outcast, the one that's not being welcomed?
I think we all are human, so all of us are, when we are at home, this is something that you can feel totally different as when you're on stage and everyone is smiling at you, So we're always like, all of us felt something like being the outcast in the past, or when you're sitting at home, or you're kind of a freak, because you're doing your music in your small room and are not like the most socializing kind of human. So at home, when you're on stage, this is totally different. But this is something that, I think this is something that a lot of musicians have. But like I said before, I also felt like an outcast when I was in school, because I was not that often at school when I was touring a lot and stuff. So this is something what I did when I was smaller, because I started my first band when I was 9 years old. So this is something that you can feel then. And I think it's super important to tell the people that they are not alone. So that you have a lot of possibilities. I'm not sure how to say that in English, but that there are a lot of different feelings that are not feelings, but that there are a lot of possibilities. I say possibilities, even if it's in a negative way, that you can feel like an outcast, you know? So this is something, especially in this time, to say we're not alone. So every one of us, even if we have to stay alone, we feel we don't have to feel alone, and we have to break out of all of these chains that we feel, even if it's just virtual or something. So this is something important that we wanted to tell in the whole album.
Well, thank you very much for the reminder and sharing that with us. I think many people, including myself, would like that reminder to understand that even the people that are on stage, the people we look up to, sometimes feel exactly as vulnerable as we do sometimes. Yeah. So I want to take you on that note, and I was wondering, as a musician, as a fan, you've been active in the music industry for quite some time. Is there anything specific that would help you feel more welcome as a musician again, as a fan, that will make people go out to shows, either play, either share their music or their love, and we need to either stop doing it or do more of that to make people more welcome, that you think needs to change right now?
I think at the moment it's super difficult to say that, or to tell the people how they can go watch shows and stuff again. And that I think at the moment we have to follow the recommendations and to not do it. And of course, when I say the people are afraid to buy tickets, I can totally understand that, because I'm not sure if I would buy a ticket right now, because okay, there's one situation when I know, okay, there's my favorite band, and I know that they're struggling right now, and I will buy a ticket even if I go to the show, even if it's happening or not. This is something that people can do right now, and they can buy merch, they can buy all the stuff. But I also know that the people right now have also financial problems. Everyone, not everyone, but the most of the people are having these problems right now. So they maybe can't go and buy everything because they're struggling as well. So these are all things that you have to think about this situation right now. But in general, when all of this is going more that you don't have to be afraid that you will overwhelm our health system, then I think that then comes the boom again, that then the people are going outside and they are super happy and laughing everywhere. This is something that I imagine. So I think this will come. And even then, the people, when they have the financial possibilities, they should, of course, buy merch and stuff and support their bands, as always.
But is there anything specific from your experience over the last, I think, about more than 10 years you've been active as a musician? Is there anything that made you uncomfortable, either as a fan or as a musician, things that happen around you, things that happen to you, and you think that us as other musicians, as people that buy, as people that go to shows, would make you feel more comfortable, whether it's people are not buying enough merch or streaming or piracy or anything, I don't know, whatever you think that we need to stop or start doing more of?
Stop. I think this is not that easy to say, because I think the people are, maybe it's because we're in Germany. The people are buying stuff. They're still buying CDs, even if it's getting less and less. But this is something this is change. So change is something that can be good and bad. So when everything is coming to streaming, you have to find another way to make this positive for you. So I wouldn't tell anyone to what they have to do. Even if I say what I said before, it's always good to buy merch more and to buy the products, because this is something that everyone can imagine is better for everything in the musical system, you know?
No, I'm glad to hear that you feel safe and everything is relatively okay. I want to talk about your long life in the music industry. I know that you started in the, was it Disney Channel?
No, I started in, it's called Kika. It's a children channel that it's not Disney Channel, but it's a children channel in Germany, where I had a contest where I was winning, but I didn't start like that in this kind of or as a musician. I started very early, much earlier than this contest. When I think about when I started, I the first time I was singing in front of people was when I was 4. So in a church, I sang one song for the people, and this was much earlier. And the second time, I think, was when I was going to the choir when I was, I think, 5.5 years old, and then I got some solo stuff and things. So I got into all of this stage stuff very, very early, and I started my first band when I was 9. So this all happened before these contests in the TV shows.
So it kind of proves that your music listening style changed over the years. I was wondering if today you still believe in the definition of guilty pleasures, that people feel bad about listening to specific music that supposedly doesn't represent them. So do you believe in that?
I don't really believe in that, because I always said, okay, there was a time when I was thinking, is that good to listen to this and listen to that, because it's not that everyone likes it, but I'm not that kind of person anymore. I listen to everything, and I always tell the people that I'm listening to Disney, and I'm listening to, I don't know, Phil Collins, and to to a lot of stuff that you wouldn't expect when you hear this is a woman that is singing in a metal band. So, but this is something that is me. So this is not a guilty pleasure for me. Even if others would say like that, maybe, but I don't feel like that.
Kind of connecting that to the growth in your musical style and the announcement of Horizon that's going to be out June 19th. I know that in the past, you had one of your band members join for the growling part of the music. Are you going to take part in Growling and Horizons?
No. Sorry to say that, but I never really got that I felt comfortable in screaming, because I always was this was so important for me that I'm really singing healthy. And I didn't have I didn't get any right kind of thing how to do it without feeling that it's not healthy. So maybe later, but at the moment, it's not really possible for me, and I don't want to do something that is not good for my voice.
Well, obviously we're focusing on staying safe and healthy, but now you have loads of time at home to practice. So maybe for the upcoming,
yes, of course,
for the next release, you can work on that.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. So before we say goodbye, I want to confront you with a rumor that I found online while I was doing my research for the interview. I know that you're a big fan of Freddie Mercury, and fans online have been struggling with the thought of you finding a family relation to Freddie Mercury. Is that true? Are you related to Freddie Mercury now?
It's not true, but I would like that. but I really, really, really love his voice, and always when he sings, this is so much passion. I love that so much. So maybe because I said I love him so much, or his voice, this is something that they came up with. But people always come up with things that I can't imagine. But yeah. I'm not.
Well, thank you for confronting that. And before we say goodbye, as we said, Horizons is out June 19th. We have an upcoming tour in Europe in November with Amaranth. And there's also a track with Elise of Amaranth that's coming on the album, among other more surprises. Is there anything else you want to add to fans and listeners before we say goodbye?
Yeah, they should listen to the feature with Elise, the Wounded Healer. And also what was super important for me was the feature with Tina Guo on I Won't Surrender. This is such a personal ballad. I really love that song, but I love every song on that album. I think this is a really, really good album. I also think that this is the best album we ever wrote. So I think bands always tell us, but I'm really meaning it. So I hope the people will like it as well. They're still open for everything that we do.
Well, I'm very excited for the release. As we said, Horizon is going to be out June 19th, and the European tour is in November. Unfortunately, there are no UK dates yet, so I'm crossing my fingers for that. But very excited. So thank you very much for your time, Jennifer, of Beyond the Black.
You.
Thank you very much.